turn 4. The battle is on. It's going to be too close to call side by side. Long Joe gets it. Oh, we got contact. We got flips. We got big wrecks here going back to the front because we're racing back to the line.
William Page with the victory.
Looking for second here.
Musa's
he's gonna use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're gonna be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's gonna be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.
Tom Musa, where did he come from?
We're trying to close the gap. He's gonna get to the bumper. Oh, just barely did not make it. And coming off of turn 4, Jeff Dixon II is gonna win it at Dover.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the United States Online Racing League Red Bull Cup Series. As always, I'm your host, Joe Towanski. Alongside me tonight, Mr. Tommy Bordeaux.
Howdy, guys.
And Mr. Ricky Collette.
Hi there, Tommy. Tommy and Joe. Glad to be back here in Texas for another great night of racing.
4th night in a row here at the Texas Motor Speedway. I better get some good barbecue after this one because I have been stuck here for 4 nights. You guys have been able to kind of venture around the area, but tonight it's a little bit different, a newer version of Texas. Tommy, it's going to be a great race, isn't it?
Should be a lot of fun. Hey, there's some opportunities to pass around here late in a run. It's going to be a game of tire wear, I think, for some of these guys, but put a lot on the setups because some of these drivers are going to be able to go flat out all the way around this racetrack for quite a couple laps, and then we'll start to see their tires fade a little bit. We're going to have guys come up through the field later in a run, maybe some falling back if they push too hard early. Going to be a variety of drivers and driving strategies here tonight.
And this, of course, is our race preview presented by Circle the Diecast. Use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Ricky, it's a hot one, though, here tonight. 78 degrees with a south wind of 2 miles per hour. Those track conditions, what is that going to make? What is that going to change about tonight's race?
Well, it's going to make handling matter even more than it already is going to be here tonight, Joe. Texas is a tough track on tires. And Tommy's talking about it. You're going to be able to rattle off a few fast laps here, full throttle. But with these high temperatures, there's going to be less grip in the track. It's going to be slimy. It's going to be slick out there. And they're probably going to get less laps, less wide open laps out of those tires than they would have, say, if it was 60 or 50 degrees, something colder where the tires could grip up better. So it's going to play in tonight. Should make for handling being a little more of a factor, which should make it a lot more fun.
Should make for a great race. And also, well, earlier this week, the TWB Airlines test car was out on track with Mr. Tommy Bordeaux. So without further ado, here is Tommy's World.
It's Tommy's World. It's Tommy's World. It's NASCAR. Excellent. It's Tommy's World. It's Tommy's World.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Tommy's World, and this week we are in the heart of Fort Worth, Texas. That's right, we're at Texas Motor Speedway for tonight's USORL Red Bull Cup Series race. Texas is a 1.5 mile quad oval, and it's the last of its kind on the schedule this season before we head to Dover next week in the Monster Mile. So, Joe, this track is kind of unique on the schedule because this is something that we're running an older version of. We haven't gone with the Texas reconfiguration in recent years. This is an older version of Texas, the banking much higher in both turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's going to allow a lot of passing opportunities because, well, the low line around here is certainly the fastest. The high line is really advantageous for guys trying to make a move around another driver. So here we go for a lap around here. It starts in turn 4, getting a good exit off of turn number 4 onto the front quad oval portion here. We're flat out, Joe, pretty much all the way around. And depending on how these drivers have their cars set up, they could be flat out for a good portion of the race. But that also means drivers are going to get a little bit loose to start on cold tires. Could see some problems in turn number 2 if that happens. Here we come into turn number 3, and this car just kind of floats down to the bottom right next to that white line. and that's a pretty good lap around here. Draft's going to be big here. Track position going to be important here, Joe. A lot of factors go into having a successful race at Texas. And for another one of these drivers, they'll be joining Jeff Dixon at Homestead later this month for the championship finale, if they win. So, should be an interesting show put on by these guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. That's over.
As always, another great segment of Tommy's World, our third to last one for the year. Tommy, are you a little sad about that? I mean, we're kind of winding down here.
Well, yeah, it's bittersweet, Joe. It's been a great opportunity to grow my skills as a presenter, an editor, a producer, and all of that, given the Tommy's World series and its running time. But you know what? We got 2 more special Tommy's Worlds coming at you for these next 2 weeks. It should be a whole lot of fun making them and showing them to all the fans at home.
Well, it's always a lot of fun here at the USORL. And speaking of fun, well, it is a playoff race. So, without further ado, here's your point standings after race 1 of the round of 8 last week. Ricky, we know Jeff Dixon's in. We think Davey Hazard's probably pretty safe, sitting 22 above. But Huang Do, Cam Barnes, Darren Ingram, those are 3 guys separated by 3 points right there around the cut line. That's got to be a little nerve-wracking for those folks.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not want to be making any mistakes tonight if you're that close on the cut line. You just want to make sure you're executing to the best of your ability here tonight, staying out of trouble, because any kind of setback's going to be disastrous. Darren Ingram, on the other hand, he's going to have to hang on here, but he kind of wants these guys to push it too hard. He wants a 54 and a 7 to have some mistakes tonight, help him kind of close that point gap, maybe leapfrog one of them over that cut line. And then, Cal Laval in 12, Noah Joyce in 3, Zach Krastowski in 1. I think mathematically they're still in this, considering the number that we have here tonight. I believe we have 13 cars here this evening.
And it's still 2 races left to go, so tonight you can just start digging yourself out of that hole. You just don't want to dig it any deeper. And that was my next question, Tommy. We look at Zach Krastowski, we look at Noah Joyce, 2 guys that have been very consistent finishing up inside the top 10, especially Zach with 21 top 10s on the year. But he's sitting there in 8th, and now you have to start thinking, man, I got to get better results than a top 10 because these fields have gotten smaller in the last month or so.
Yeah, getting consistent top 10s will certainly get you to this point in the playoffs, but to get to that final round and to win the championship, 7th, 8th, and 9th place finishes don't exactly cut it. Hey, if it was a full season championship, it sure would, but we're playing by current NASCAR rules, so that's fine. That's what we're doing. That's my
always got to throw the shade, Tommy. Throw your shade.
But let me tell you something. Last year, Noah Joyce had a really fast car at Dover. We know he likes that track, and we know he has a shot there to possibly win and lock himself into that Final Four. On the other hand, guys like Darren Ingram are going to be good tonight. In fact, Darren won the lights race here on Monday night, and so he's got a lot of momentum heading into this race. A Texas boy himself, he's going to be looking to have a great result tonight and lock himself into that Final Four.
Big wreck there off of turn 2, going to be the trouble spot all throughout the night, but we do have our starting lineup, and we're closing in on the end of happy hour practice based off all the wrecks I see on track. So, Ricky, Tommy, I don't know who wants to do it, but, whoever wants to do it, take us through tonight's starting lineup.
Hey, what, Ricky? I'll do the odds, you do the evens. What do you say?
All right.
Well, here we go.
Already messed it up.
What about the segue? Okay, you take it. You take it, and then we'll do the
starting on the pole, I just mentioned it. That's that number 23 car, Darren Ingram, Texas's own. With a 27.164, he sets the fastest time in qualifying.
Starting in second would be the 15 car of Jeff Dixon at a time of 27.173, just 2/10 off. Has a fast car tonight. We'll see if he can challenge with Darren for this race win.
Now, those 2 very close on Monday night at the finish, as you might have seen on the USORL Racing Twitter. Hey, starting in third, it's a surprise comeback for William Page. We thought we saw the last of him at Kentucky. He's back trying to get that 16 car in Owners Championship.
Starting in fourth, and I'm going to start going a little quicker here, Tommy, because we're about to hit race. Cam Barnes in the 7 car.
Joyce starting 5th in the 3.
Sean Whitehill in the number 2 machine will roll off 6th this evening.
Cal Laval, the driver who missed last week at Watkins Glen, he rolls off in the 7th position.
Austin Spencer in the 13, currently going backwards on track here in practice. Will roll off from the 8th position tonight.
Zach Kostowski in that one car, he's going to roll off 9th.
Last car in the top 10 will be Matthew Steelman, the 51, also last car to take a time in qualifying.
And the rest of the field, Huang Do, Davey Hazard, and Antonio Ruiz, all three not making qualifying laps. But we know from Davey's past, that's not going to mean a thing in the race.
A great field of drivers once again here in the USORL Cup Series. We're live with you from the Texas Motor Speedway for some Saturday night racing, capping off a day full of racing. Can't thank you folks enough for joining us. Make sure if you're new here, you hit that subscribe button. We're 20... There's the command. 27 subscribers away from our next milestone at 650. So be a friend, tell a friend, share the video, share JTN with all your friends. Tell them to subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. We can't thank y'all enough for all of your support. Field rolls off. Darren Ingram, Jeff Dixon are going to make up row number 1. Ingram, the hometown hero here tonight, as well as Matthew Steelman in the 51. Those two trying to win in front of, I would assume, a lot of friends, a lot of family. That's got to be a lot of added pressure, right, Tommy?
Yeah, I just didn't know Matt was from Texas.
Did I really think he was from Texas? I'm sorry.
It is Antonio Ruiz, however, who is one of those Texas drivers. Another one in Texas tonight is, well, he's missing from the 16 car this week, or who drove it last week, and that's Ray Tustin. He was at this track today watching the Truck and Xfinity events. So shout out to Ray in the chat, team owner of Games 123 Racing. Hope you're doing well. He's in the stands tonight, but hopefully his 16 car with William Page behind the wheel can get a good result for them. Hey, Joe, we're coming to the green flag here shortly with Darren Ingram on the pole, Jeff Dixon to his outside. Why don't you take us to the green?
I'm still losing it because I thought Matt was in Texas for some reason because he's a big Terry Labonte 5 Kellogg's car fan, which you check out that merch on the JTN merch store. But there's our first plug of the night. Darren Ingram going to lead him to green. Jeff Dixon, William Page, Cam Barnes, and Noah Joyce, your top 5. Pace car makes the hard left turn down the pit lane. We get ready to enter the Mike Co restart zone, and away we go. Green flag here in Fort Worth.
Not a terrific start from Jeff Dixon on the outside. Got a little bit of a bump from Cam Barnes out there. We talked about Cam Barnes earlier in the broadcast, close on that border of in and out of that Final Four. He's looking to have a good run here tonight, as already Jeff Dixon losing spots on that outside.
Keep an eye out here, guys, on these first few laps. Those cold tires, these cars are going to be a little loose. You saw the 15 Jeff Dixon have a little wiggle there in turn 1, and it's losing a few spots right now. 7, and Cam Barnes hits the apron and does the same thing.
And right behind them, the 2 car, Sean Whitehill. Sean Whitehill in that Dickies Ford Mustang actually had a great run here on Monday at the Lights race. Thought he had a car to win before a late caution took him out of contention. But hey, keep an eye on him. He might have a shot here later in the going.
And Barnes making that charge to the inside of the 2. Sean Whitehill just can't get through there. I'm noticing that middle line, that high line, actually do have a little bit of grip as he makes a pass on Whitehill. We see Jeff Dixon's been hanging on that high line.
I'll tell you what, William Page hanging in that middle line right there, he can really use it to his advantage on the exit of turn number 2. He does, if you can get a good run on that guy below you, you can kind of pinch him down in the corner a little bit. Cam Mars doesn't think so highly of that, though. Looks like he's using that bottom line to his favor there in the Wrangler Jeans Mustang.
That 7 car looking fast, going to have a little Ford horsepower behind him helping. That's Sean Whitehill in the 2. Battle for 2nd, battle for 4th.
Now, it's that conflict of interest. We got Dickie's car and a Wrangler car. It's a battle for jeans out here.
Jeans, a popular denim article of clothing here in the United States Online Racing League. Well, we missed it earlier this season, but the race at the Joval jean-themed road course race at the Charlotte Roval was quite the event. But certainly right now, the event is taking place in front of us here as William Page using that high side in 1 and 2, side by side with Darren Ingram for the lead.
And Barnes getting really close. The back bumper of Darren Ingram got me sweating a little bit there last time by. Afraid he was going to touch him, but these guys holding very tough here down low, but they're actually short on numbers compared to these guys on the high line. The 16, the 2, the 15, the 3, they're all up there, making a charge at the 23 right now.
Racing almost like a super speedway, isn't it, Joe?
It's racing just like a super speedway, and folks at home, apologies, ticker, lap counter, none of it's working for some reason. We'll have to get that ironed out for you. But this is the battle for the lead as William Page is hanging tough on the outside of Darren Ingram.
like I talked about in Tommy's World earlier, it's a multi-groove track. You can use those extra lanes, especially if your car is set up for it. And I'll tell you what, there we go. William Page, he's going to lead this lap. How about that? Hey, William Page, who had a pretty tough race at Kentucky a couple weeks ago, nice rebound. He sure hasn't lost any of that driving talent behind the wheel.
This mile and a half really playing more to his skill set, and we can already see that early on tonight as Sean Whitehill now goes to the inside for second in that Dickies Mustang.
Darren Ingram finally gets a little bit of a gap on these guys, a little bit of breathing room. William Page now going to have to deal with Sean Whitehill to the inside here. Kind of depends on where Darren goes. I think that's going to help Sean to get a draft. Darren's going to go down low. That should be able to give the two a little bit more of a pull.
Well, back in the field fighting for that top 5 spot.
Austin Spencer now way down into the... Oh, he's on the apron. He's going around.
Oh, my goodness.
No contact.
What happened there?
Well, we'll have to get you a replay in a second because we still got a battle going on for the lead now. William Page to the outside of Darren Ingram, and Page way up the track.
William Page using a higher groove than I thought these guys would use. I don't know if there's that much grip up there. That's going to allow Jeff Dixon to get to the bumper of the 16. Meanwhile, Sean Whitehill has fallen back a ton of positions, guys.
Well, that was a big wiggle from Whitehill last time down the back straightaway. Austin Spencer coming to pit road. No doubt that he needs 4 fresh Goodyear Racing tires after that spin and hit to the rear end of that racing vehicle. But William Page has moved to the lead. He's going to see in his rearview mirror the battle for second between Darren Ingram and Jeff Dixon.
You guys, looking back on this, Austin Spencer, the 13, looked like what happened. Turn 2 got tight, got into the outside wall. Davey Hazard at 75, nowhere to go, gets into the back of the 13, and it sends him all the way down the track, and Spencer just...
Oh, we got problems. William Page, he's around.
Oh, no.
Through the grass, sliding all 4 tires. And I don't know what happened there, but William Page, big problems for that 16. Disaster.
That's your replay off of turn number 4. Oh, it blew up.
It blew up.
Oh, no.
Disaster.
That was heartbreak for William Page. You can see the faint wisps of smoke that unfortunately fell into the clutches of failure once again. Boy, and that's going to hurt that 16 in the Owners' Championship.
So Jeff Dixon now takes the lead, our winner from last week. He wants all the glory this round, trying to sweep it and try to keep some of those guys that will be strong contenders at Homestead out of that championship 4. We know the guy riding there in second, Darren Ingram. These two actually battled for that win at Homestead last year, even though they weren't in the championship 4. Sean Whitehill rebounding. He's back up to 3rd.
Yeah, he's really putting together a good run, recovering from that little moment he had out at turn 2. I'll tell you what, Randall Coleman, Texas expert, writes in a little bit too much tape on that William Page machine. Might have been why he was so fast on that high side compared to everybody else. Meanwhile, speaking of that high side, Jeff Dixon using it to his advantage to try and stay in front of Darren Ingram, Ricky.
Yeah, and Darren Ingram, those cars aren't sealed to the ground right now. That 23 had a big old wiggle all the way up turn 4 there, trying to get a good run off the turn to catch up with the 15. He made up some ground, but he was kicking it 45 degrees sideways there. But right now, just hanging around the 2nd spot, trying to see if he can find a different line than Dixon, I think, right now. Use that draft to kind of pull in and then just kind of locate somewhere else to see if he can get a run on him.
Confirmation from that game's 1, 2, 3, number 16 team. There were no signs of engine failure. It wasn't running hot, so they have no idea what happened.
William Page in chat right now saying just blew up, no warning at all, gauges were good. Bummer, that car was great, so disappointment in the 16 pit, very unfortunate. But it was a random blow up. We've seen a lot of these at Texas the past few days. I know it was a different Texas, but...
Thank you for repeating exactly what I said, Ricky.
Well, there's some intense racing going on from this 4th position on back. A lot of pack racing going on here. That one car, Zach Kostowski's found himself up into the top 5, but right hot on his heels is Mr. Saturday Night, Davey Hazard in that shoe machine. He's made his way up through half the field after starting in the back.
Hazard always has a strong car here in the USORL. Tonight, no different. Missed last week's race at Watkins Glen, but still has a 22-point lead on the cutoff line.
Davey Hazard gets past the one of Zach Rostowski here, sets his sights on that 7 of Cam Barnes. At 75, he's got a fast, slow machine like we're just talking about. You have to get on by Cam Barnes. He can probably dictate this line and start trying to track down these guys in the 23 and the 2 car. They're running fast right now, but you can see just how close Davey's getting on his back bumper. I think he's definitely got a lot more speed than Barnes at the moment.
And looking to the inside through the quad oval. Hazard going to have that preferred inside line. He's really going to force Cam to go up, not letting him take the entire middle. Diamond's the corner on exit. Going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Tommy, what are you noticing so far early on in this one?
Well, I see a lot of variety from these drivers and what kind of lanes they're using and what they can use to pass. You see right here, Davey Hazard just made that pass around Cam Barnes on the inside, as he did with Zach Rostowski a few laps ago. But we also saw drivers like William Page before his retirement in this race utilize the outside line to their advantage. So it's really a guessing game on what driver's going to use what line. If we get a restart late in the race and to see what drivers pick what line with the choose cone, it's going to be really interesting to see how this race develops.
Well, further on front here, Darren Ingram to the inside of the 15 of Jeff Dixon. They're going to be side by side coming down the front straightaway here. It looks like Darren Ingram's going to lead the lap, but they're a dead heat here coming into turn 1.
Down into turn 1, Ingram way down on the bottom, trying to make sure Dixon can't pull off any side draft. A little bit of transponder issues there with the nerds. Chevrolet Camaro. Camaro versus Camaro with the pony car coming up in third.
Boy,
pony cars.
That's got to be terrifying there for Darren Ingram racing that close side by side. Worst case scenario, if those two get hit together while they're kind of lagging out a little bit, that could cause a big incident. Sean Whitehill's got to be ready for it, so I'm sure that 2 car up on that wheel right now, paying attention to what's in front of him.
John Whitehill out here, not in the point standings right now, knocked out of the playoffs. So he's out here to make a statement, this 2 machine is. He's not here for points, he's here to win. So that'd not be a bad thing to let these guys sort of slug it out and then reap the benefits if something happens.
Antonio Ruiz down on pit road for an unscheduled stop.
Well, speaking of making a statement, Ricky, that number 1 car of Zach Rostowski, who we talked about struggling to get into that top 5 and really break through for a great finish this season, well, he's running in 5th right now and doing a good job with it right behind Davey Hazard. That's the kind of finishes they're going to need. Of course, they have the biggest hole to dig themselves out of points-wise, but nothing's impossible with tonight and next week at Dover ahead of us. And that 1 car, I'm sure, liking where they're running for right now anyway.
Yeah, for sure. We saw them last week at Watkins Glen, had a great run set up, and they almost cracked that jinx there, that 6th place jinx. Oh, the Antonio Ruiz around on the apron, turn 1, actually backwards on track, trying to do a, looks like a 5-point turn here, turn around. Looks like he might have just lost it on the apron, getting back up to speed.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that, but I can tell you that when I did that, I was able to rebound to a top 5. So this race is not over for that 11 Texas A&M Chevrolet.
I'll tell you what, when I went to my first ever SCCA driving school to get my initial license at Buttonwillow Raceway Park many, many years ago, that was one of the things the instructor said. Watch out for aprons exiting pit road. There's a lot of debris, a lot of oil that can be laid down in that area. It's going to be very slick. And Antonio Ruiz just getting caught out by that. He goes around, but looks like that car not too damaged at all. He'll be okay to continue. I'll tell you what, we're looking to make a little bit of a break here to get our ticker restarted so you guys can see both our lap counter and all the drivers' positions as they run. So if you'll hang on with us for a moment, we'll get the stream back going for y'all in a moment. And we're back here racing underway at Texas. I hope you enjoyed that little brief interruption to maybe grab a snack or a water. It's probably going to be a small one considering it wasn't that long of a break. But meanwhile, the action has continued here at Texas. Jeff Dixon still leads a couple tenths over Darren Ingram in 2nd. Have to go a second more back to Sean Whitehill in 3rd. Davey Hazard 4th, a couple tenths behind him. And the battle is on for 5th place, that top 5 spot between Zach Rostowski and Cal Wovall.
Ticker looks like it will be fixed, boys. So good job to our entire JTN computer science team on figuring out that they just had to shut everything down for a quick second.
Boy, back in the pack, guys, racing for position number 7 and 8. is the 7 of Cam Barnes and the 3 of Noah Joyce. These two are way off the pace. Boy, Cam was really fast to start this race, but has since fallen off big time.
Yeah, I gotta wonder what's going on with those cars. Both of them seem to be at the same kind of pace right now, just very, very off from what these other guys are running. I don't know if they're having mechanical issues or if they're trying to save right now, but it almost looks like they're down on power.
Well, and Tommy, you talked about it. Noah Joyce feels pretty good about Dover. Cam Barnes also feels pretty good about Dover, but Cam was in a spot. He was into the Final Four based on points coming into tonight, and now he sees Zach Krastowski, the guy that was the farthest back, Cal Laval, a guy far back, and also Darren Ingram up there inside the top 3. So he's got to see that, has to think that if he can't get this car turned around, it might be a win-or-go-home situation next week at Dover.
Yeah, Joe, it really would be. But I'll tell you what, that 7 car is up to the task. Remember last year how close they were to
Cars to
winning
pit
that?
road, guys! Oh, sorry,
man.
Davey Hazard. 4-wheel slide. I apologize. There was a huge plume of smoke there.
Boy, you
Jeff
just
Dixon.
wonder if Davey got it slowed down in time. We'll have to see as he exits pit road whether or not he gets a black flag or not. Either way, all these leaders deciding, yeah, I'm going to come in, except for Sean Whitehill and Zach Ostowski, they have stayed out.
Not surprised to see those two stay out. They really subscribe to that theory of trying to go a little longer, although Sean is going to miss pit road. And he's got to come down.
Oh no, Sean.
But it'll be a penalty for the two team as they miss the commitment cone. So an unfortunate break as they are running inside the top 3. Our highest non-playoff driver.
Commitment issues for that 2 car. Been there before. It's never fun. Hopefully you can get this thing righted around if we get a yellow flag to possibly bunch this field back up and get what I presume will be his lap back when he inevitably comes down and has to serve that penalty. Otherwise, 4 tires going on all these cars. No surprise there.
Getting back up.
Darren Ingram, that's the lead back from Jeff Dixon.
And
Sorry, Joe.
No, good. And Ricky, how important is that to get the lead coming off of pit road? Because it's gonna give you the clean air on the nose, but also for Ingram, he's on that outside looking in, coming into tonight. 2 wins on the year, but they came at those 2.5-mile super speedways.
Yeah, and it's big to win that race on pit road too, just because your frame of mind, it gives you a whole ton of confidence that if you can beat the leader in pit speed, just on pit entry, pit exit, then you feel like you can do it for the rest of the race. So Darren Ingram pushed it right to the limit and it worked. So now he's got a good rhythm for getting on pit road, getting off as they come up through the race here. But Jeff Dixon really racing him on that high line there, getting right to his back bumper every single time down the straightaways. Jeff Dixon not letting them go, but these guys got to be careful because Davey Hazard looks like he's all clear. No penalty from the race steward. So Davey Hazard's starting to reel his way into this battle for the lead.
Shouldn't be much of a surprise that we're seeing this 75 car make it towards the front of the field. It seems like he does so every night. And despite missing Watkins Glen last week, a provisional helped that 75 team, and so did all their playoff points, of course, stay in this championship picture.
Wong Do
yeah.
back down on pit road. I have to think that was a speeding penalty for the 54 Whataburger Toyota. Another Games 1, 2, 3 racing car having issues.
Yeah, no surprise there either because they're both Toyotas, both under the same stable. Hope it's not a Toyota-wide issue if you're a Davey Hazard fan at home. But you mentioned that sponsor there on that 54 Whataburger. The debate marches on. Guys, I've had both Whataburger and In-N-Out now. I got to say, In-N-Out, that's definitely the winner for me.
I don't think I've had Whataburger, so I can't really say about Whataburger.
Well, if you did, you probably would have said, oh man, what a burger that was.
In-N-Out was pretty good, though. I've had In-N-Out.
Fan favorite Doe having issues on pit road. Well, Davey Hazard's closed the gap back to Jeff Dixon all over the back bumper of this 15 Chevrolet. So it's Chevy, Toyota, Ford, your top 4.
I'm a little surprised, I would say, with how comfortable these guys are running that top line to get the fastest laps around here. Not necessarily passing each other, but I really thought that bottom line, at least for whatever setup I was running on Monday at the lights race, was the fastest way around. Jeff Dixon has got that car set up a little bit differently. It looks like he's really favoring that middle to high groove as Hazard now follows them doing the same thing in 1 and 2.
And what makes you favor a groove, Tommy, based on your setup? Is it just how loose, how tight? Is it that simple, or is there something more there?
Well, there's a lot of different factors of geometry that go into camber and toe and suspension rates and all that kind of thing. they all combine together to have a race car feel a certain way. And if you feel faster and more comfortable in one line or the other, you're probably going to favor that line. And for a guy like Davey Hazard, and I know we run kind of similar setups, I'm surprised he's not running low all the way around the racetrack. At least he sure is on exit, but he's lost some time to our leaders up front. Meanwhile, Ricky, Cal Lovell coming into the picture.
Yeah, Cal Lovell starting to track these guys down. Just been kind of hanging on Davey Hazard's draft, running faster laps than any of these guys. But man, look at Darren Ingram and Jeff Dixon just all over each other, back and forth, back and forth. Our 15's going to peel off the... oh, he gets loose into the outside wall. He drove it in a little too deep, and he's going sideways on track.
Man.
Almost contact there.
No cars coming that way.
Oh,
no!
Yeah, this is... oh, no, that is not where you want to be. They're going to throw one, because that might... oh, that's right. There's a caution.
Caution thrown by the officials. And I'll tell you what, good call, because that car was in a very precarious position off the exit of the corner.
Absolutely. In
front of some very fast-moving race cars.
I'm going to need a change of pants after that, but Huang Do, speaking of needing a change of pants, Whataburger, 54 Huang Do will get the lucky dog here, so put Mr. Doe back on the lead lap.
You see, might have been a little contact there with the 23 as we ride on board with our Nerds on Board camera.
Oh, Joe, what did I say? A couple laps before that happened, if they were having internet issues and they got close, got together, it would cause an incident like that. That's exactly what happened. I'd say Jeff Dixon's lucky that he didn't get away with even a worse issue right there.
Well, and if you're Jeff Dixon, you've afforded yourself the ability to make a mistake like this here tonight, right? Win last week at Watkins Glen in dominating fashion, and that locks yourself into the Final Four. But Ricky, you still want to make sure you're keeping momentum up. This is our last mile and a half before the finale in Homestead.
Exactly. You really don't want to start picking up on any bad habits here before, you know, the biggest race, the biggest mile and a half of the season, possibly in a few weeks here. So it's technically, from a point standpoint, it's not a huge deal for Dixon, but you just don't want to. You put yourself in a weird mood if you start having issues at tracks leading up to the championship. You just want to like rapid fire these off with good runs. Just keep that confidence level up. Just keep any fragment of doubt out of your head about your team and your operation, that you can capitalize and make moves to put yourself in position to win.
Everybody coming on down pit road. This will be the first crack at it. We got a choose marker here.
Yeah, it is on the back straightaway, the middle of the back straightaway. There's a little caution light on the wall behind the fence, but no actual choose cone V on the racetrack.
Cool. All right, well, as the drivers are down on pit road, well, it's a staple of our JTN broadcast to make sure we shout out those fans tuning in the chat. So, welcome once again to Randall Coleman, Allie Rain, Richard Pleasant, I believe, right? I think that's Richard. I'll go with it. Saints NASCAR Fan 14. I think I got Angione 13. Saying I love Tommy.
I think that's Luch from Will's apartment. Don't know if they're still watching now that Will's out of the race, but either way, glad they were able to tune in for a little bit, and I appreciate the love.
And Marcus Cager as well. It's Polar tuning in too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they just missed the highs. So I'm glad you caught that too.
But there we see the choose. So we line up like this. Davey Hazard gonna have control on the outside. Darren Ingram here on the inside in second. Then it's Zach Krastowski, Cal Laval, row number 2. Matthew Steelman in the Lefty Designs Ally Ford Mustang with Cam Barnes to his outside. Noah Joyce, Jeff Dixon, Sean Whitehill, Huang Do now going to the bottom, down onto the apron. Something's wrong. Oh, he's getting to the back. Antonio Ruiz and Austin Spencer. So field makes their way off of turn number 4. It's our first restart of the night. We've seen a lot of wheel spin all week long. Let's see if these boys get it together. Green flag, we're back racing from Texas.
think Davey Hazard got a little bit of a bump from Cal Loval. That really helped that high line get going. Meanwhile, behind Cam Barnes, a huge gap to the rest of the field. But of course, we saw Cam really fall off on the long run. It'll be interesting to see if that 7 car made any adjustments with these pit stops to see if they.
Oh, no, Joyce in the wall.
Sorry there, Tommy. We both cut you off.
Well, no, I'll tell you what, though. Noah Joyce, another one of those drivers, just like Cam Barnes, that was really struggling on that long-run speed. Looks like they have a little bit too much weight on the nose, they said, during the pit stops. And boy, Ricky, that can really make that car feel like a dump truck in the corners.
They can, and Darren Ingram's getting to the inside of Davey Hazard here, so they're going to be side by side. Ingram not even making it a challenge, gets the edge on Hazard. Great run off of turn 2. He's going to reassume the lead. But we'll see if Hazard rallies back in this high line. He's staying close. Looks like no dice. So we'll put Darren Ingram back to the point in front of Davey Hazard here. And yeah, Cam Barnes hanging tight with these guys now. And Noah Joyce. I thought there was a mechanical issue there, so I'm glad it was just a handling dilemma, because that's a lot more fixable.
Well, and I have to think that Cam might take it a little easier this time on the run, knowing how fast his car fell off compared to his competitors. But as I thought that, he, of course, dives to the inside of Cal Laval, now to the inside of Davey Hazard. Cal thought about making it 3 wide, not going to have enough momentum. But Cam Barnes now up into second, battling with Hazard.
You got 2 spots in 1 turn right there. He doesn't care much what you think, Joe. He's just going for it in that Wrangler Ford Mustang. I'll tell you what, they're, these new Wrangler jeans, they're U-shaped, so they fit around you. Mm-hmm. And right now, Cam Barnes is fitting around these drivers, trying to get all those spots back he lost over the past couple runs.
Yeah, but as the proud owner of Team Twansky, I have to say, Dickie's jeans, they just know me. They fit great, they feel great, and they look even better.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what brand my jeans are. They might be Wranglers. They might, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't even check.
No, you probably have Levi's.
I might have Levi's, too.
Or Old Navy jeans.
I got a Banana Republic pair that are really comfy.
Well, hey, that jean machine of Cam Barnes going up into second. Still a gaggle, though, behind him. Battle is on for the 5th spot. Noah Joyce trying to get by Zach Krastowski. And then Krastowski's teammate, Jeff Dixon, right behind him, giving him a little bit of a push.
Trying to get back up front.
Oh, Ruiz came down pit road, excuse me.
Slow on track because he was on pit road.
Yeah.
Come on, Ricky.
Well, I mean, he was on the apron is what I meant. He was coming back up to speed because he just came off pit road. Jeff Dixon gets by the 3. Dixon still got a lot of speed in this Chevy Camaro. Didn't really hit anyone there. Just went for a very long slide. A little bit of a slap off the wall, so that they could pull out pretty easily on pit road. So I think Dixon's good to roll here. I think he's still got that fast car, and he can make a challenge for the lead. Noah Joyce around in turn 3.
Oh, and a big hit on the wall for him. Up and around, that rear end of the car looks torn. And that's going to be a big problem. Huge playoff implications for Noah Joyce and the Dow team.
And still green, so we watch the battle for the lead march on as Cam Barnes has gotten to the inside of Darren Ingram just for a split second. Now Hazard's going to go to the inside of that 7.
Hazard's going to use that momentum against Cam Barnes, who, ooh, boy, I'll tell you what, Davey got a little bit tight there, sending that into the corner on the bottom side, and they're side by side right now. That's letting Cal Loval get involved in this battle for second. Meanwhile, Darren Ingram loving seeing this in his mirror.
Once things play out, we'll get you a replay of what happened to Noah Joyce a few laps ago, because it was a terrible hit for Joyce as his hopes to make it to the Final 4 are starting to feel like a must-win situation at Dover. Hazard stuck on the bottom right now with Cal Loval, who's outside. A little bit of a freight train there with the 1 and 15 in tow.
And Noah Joyce not happy. Looking at the 3 teams radio, hearing the driver saying, burn it down. Burn this place down. So a driver not happy. Zach Krastowski into the outside wall. Looks like he's up there. He's gripped a little too much. It's Zach saving. No,
oh, he's around.
Oh, 13.
That's got to be a caution.
No calls, so I guess they're still rolling. And that's another big points implication. Zach Krastowski, we were talking about that. So it's going to help Noah Joyce, but...
Replay what happened with Zach. Dixon to his inside. Zach just got up there into the marbles, got stuck in the wall, pulled it off the wall, and that's what caused him to go around.
and kind of went around. Oh, sorry, Tommy, you got it.
These are the moments, these are the mistakes that separate the pretenders from the contenders right here. I mean, these are the kinds of things that are why guys like Davey Hazard, Cal Lovell, Darren Ingram have made Final Fours, have won a bunch of races, and are always seemingly towards the front of the field at the end of the point season. It's just mistakes like that that you don't want to see, and I'll tell you what, the elimination of those is going to be oh so important into who makes this Final Four. Meanwhile, a guy who's already locked into the Final Four, Jeff Dixon, charging back up towards the front of the field after an earlier incident.
You just saw the replay of what happened to Noah Joyce a few laps prior to what happened to Zach Krastowski. Different turn, different car, same story, loose up high into the marble. So now we're starting to see that outside line look a little more treacherous than what we previously thought. Dixon back up to second. Cal Laval, Davey Hazard, and Cam Barnes, the rest of your top five, as Ingram still leads.
Dixon's getting as high up the track as he can. Go down the back straightaway there to kind of arc his way to turn 3, kind of graze the wall a little bit, getting too high up the track. Does it again there, but Jeff Dixon really trying to get as much out of this track as he can right now. He's got a fast car, so all the way from the back to the front here, making a big statement on where that 15 team's intermediate program is. A little further back, Huang Do getting to the inside of Cam Barnes of the 7 for the 5th position.
And those two are the last two in on points, so they're kind of battling each other to try to keep a buffer car to the cutoff. Doe came in 3rd, Barnes in 4th, so Barnes at least getting a point up on the 54 right now.
Boy, they're all chasing Darren Ingram, who, if he wins, of course, that locks him into that Final Four. What have we talked about all season long, both from Darren himself and up us in the booth? Really, really strong last year at Homestead, came away with the victory. Darren feels like if he can get to that Final Four, he's going to be a huge threat to win this championship. And I'm sure the guy behind him, Jeff Dixon's like, well, not so fast. I don't want to have to battle with you like I did last season and lose out. So certainly Jeff Dixon, although he's already locked in, wants to win every race he can to prevent maybe some drivers from getting into that Final Four.
And how big of a deal is that, Ricky, to try to keep your competitors out? I mean, we saw Joey Logano in, 2015, really stink up the show in the round of 12, won all 3 races, but he made some enemies in doing that. You don't see something similar playing out like that here tonight and for the championship, do you?
I don't think so. I mean, unless these guys keep racing, unless you guys start getting really crazy, then maybe. But like, I don't necessarily think so. Jeff Dixon probably just wanted to make sure that he's watching his P's and Q's tonight in terms of driver courtesy, because the last thing you want to do is make anyone mad that might end up challenging you for that championship, especially when you already got that win in the bag. But beyond that, I think it's going to be pretty tame. Dixon really making a charge of this 23, kind of wiggling about. A little bit of transponder snafu there, but seems like he's settled down. Now, these guys are going to start coming up on the lap cars with Noah Joyce in the 3 and Zach Krastowski in the 1. They're both looking about the same, missing the rear clips on both cars. You have to be careful, make sure to get by these cars okay, because these guys are probably not handling too great after that contact with the wall.
Not the race either of them have wanted for themselves, but they've still got to be in it no matter what. That's a glass that just fell in the booth, but it's okay.
You didn't spill water on your keyboard, did you?
No, I already drank it all.
Okay, good. Wanted real quick, a scary moment in the first race of the duel in the D today. Felix Rosenquist had the throttle hang going into one of the corners, climbed the tires. He has since said that he's doing okay, but will not race tomorrow on Belle Isle. Want to make sure our thoughts and prayers are out there with Rosenquist. Got to think there's some recovery time involved for the driver of the number 7 for Arrow McLaren.
The massive hit, very entertaining race, however. Really enjoyed watching that. Of course, I can enjoy it because I know that Felix is going to be okay, but yeah, scary hit indeed. However, that was just such a phenomenal race. Joe, I know you're in the Detroit area. I've been to actually driving on where that track is, but of course not on the race months, no doubt. But boy, I'll tell you what, beautiful facility. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, it was. Belle Isle is a fantastic place to go for a race. Detroit is booming as of late, so just take all those notions you have about the 313 and throw them out of the window because they are not true anymore. We're Still on the comeback, but we're getting better and better every day, and it's a great place to watch a race there on Belle Isle. Also had NASCAR action here from Texas. John Hunter Nemechek won the Truck Series race. Kyle Busch won the Xfinity Series race. And then the debut of SRX. All, of course, topics that Davey Hazard and I will talk about this week on the Fake Racers podcast, so make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. Keep up with that. But, Ricky, SRX was kind of cool, right? Especially from an engineering perspective, as Dixon still trying to hunt for the lead.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun for technical, and watching that, I really enjoyed it. And speaking of technical stuff right now, Sean Whitehill down on pit road, so maybe the two coming a little early. He might did he take a wave around last time? I think he took a wave around.
So this would be actually, right on the window.
Yeah.
I just stole your thunder. I'm sorry. But I did it.
No, you're fine. But one now. Look at the chat. Someone just made a comment about it. Real Live Marco just mentioned it. 54 Huang Do in this 5th spot. Hanging on here with these guys. Looks like he's a little tight. I don't know if he's going to be able to reel him in, but he's got that lead draft. So this could be a 5-car race if Do can pull these guys in. It just seems like right now Jeff Dixon can't get by Darren Ingram. He keeps getting a nose in there and then just doesn't have the drive off to get by him. But now they're coming up on lap cars here. 3 of Noah Joyce and the 1 Zach Krasowski.
And one last point, guys, before we close this segment of the Fake Racers podcast, Real Racers Report. Sammy Smith won today's ARCA Series East race at Southern National Motorsports Park. His 3rd ARCA career win. And with that and tonight's race, that's going to close out the night of racing. But here we've still got plenty of it to go. We're about halfway now with Darren Ingram leading Jeff Dixon, Cal Lovell, Davey Hazard, and in 5th place, fan favorite Huang Do in your top 5.
Fan favorite indeed, just completed the halfway lap, and this one Dixon now is to the inside of Darren Ingram. Not getting any kind of push, so he's really had to try to make this pass all by himself. You mentioned Huang Do. Had the pit stop trouble earlier, Tommy, and I know you're a guy that's really aggressive coming to pit road as we're watching these leaders continue to battle. What adjustments is he going to have to make to ensure that he doesn't make the same mistake during that first green flag cycle?
Yeah, he's just going to have to take it easy. Realize this is a long race still, and if it goes green all the way to the end, how you get in and off of pit road is going to matter a ton. I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter how fast your entry is, how good it is. If you speed at all, forget it. It's not going to matter. So you really just got to be careful on your entry. Make sure that entry speed is good, and then pay attention to that RPM and that speedometer gauge. We're lucky to have speedometers here in sim racing. We don't in real life. But just pay attention. Make sure you don't speed because it could... And he got away with it once, but you're probably not going to get away with it twice.
Well, and they have the tack lights, right? So we don't get that here in the sim racing world. So just a couple little differences that we have here in NR 2003. Folks, I'm Joe Towlansky. That was Tommy Bordeaux just talking. Also, Ricky Collette joining us. You guys joining us here for another fantastic night of racing from the Texas Motor Speedway. This is, of course, the second race of the round of 8 for the USORL Red Bull Cup Series Playoffs. Trying to figure out who's going to make their claim to a spot in the Final Four. Slow on the apron, that's Matthew Steelman just coming off of pit road, it would appear. Or maybe some contact with the outside wall. And apologies.
He's coming off pit road.
Apologies to Steelman for thinking he was from this great state of Texas when he's from California.
Well, debatable on great, but it is great to see Matthew Steelman come back to race here in the Cup Series. Been a couple weeks for him off a little bit there, but nice to see him return to the circuit. Certainly here tonight. Nice to see the 51 out there. Looks like we're getting a call from the 15 that he's going to be pitting this lap. Let's see if that's a bluff or he's actually being truthful.
He made contact!
He was being truthful!
No!
Oh, no!
Darren Ingram up and over!
Oh, he's still rolling!
That is a huge championship implication for Darren Ingram.
Oh my goodness.
Nowhere.
Oh, my goodness.
Nowhere for
gone.
Steelman to go.
Oh, no.
And Ingram, that's an automatic retirement. That car was junked. And it also impacts Jeff Dixon. Oh my goodness, guys. Huge implications.
You saw it live, of course, folks, but here's the replay. Dixon getting really aggressive coming to pit road. Ingram not as aggressive. That's where the discrepancy is. And then the 23 doing a barrel roll, doing a barrel roll, doing a barrel roll.
I mean, really no place to go for Matthew Steelman. Bad place at a bad time. I'll tell you what, that's reminiscent of the Talladega Nights roll. That's like the Carl Long roll at Rockingham many years ago. I'll tell you what, that was incredible. But it also sets up an interesting situation. Not a good result is going to come out of tonight for that 23 team. They're going to have some work to do next week at Dover.
Visor cam with Steelman now. You're going to see the contact up in front. Steelman knows that all those guys are coming to pit road. He commits to that higher lane, just nowhere to go, and hits the door of the 23 of Ingram.
Steelman, he did everything right. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's just, you hate to see it. You really do. But this really opens up the race to a couple of these guys who we haven't seen lead laps yet. Davey Hazard now inheriting the lead. Cal Laval right behind him.
And you know what, guys? Just to give credit to that incident here, 15 and Jeff Dixon. We saw how these guys came down pit road last time. You saw how hard the 23 threw it in. He was locking them down too. So I think Dixon was under the assumption that Ingram was going to throw it in probably just as hard. I think I actually said that earlier. I was under the assumption too that Ingram kind of found his marks there to get a really good pit stop. It's an unfortunate situation. I don't want to make it seem like the 15 completely ran over him, because I think it's a tricky situation getting on pit road here in Texas, and timing is everything. And even one little misstep on that with a conga line of 5 cars like that could just lead to calamity.
Well, I'll tell you what, that really changes things a lot, because now with a guy who was dominating this race, certainly, out of the picture now, what that does to his hopes of making the Final Four, a bunch of different storylines converging right now. Meanwhile, in all that, great stop by that Whataburger Camry team of Guangdong. They're up to second place.
Great stop from the 54 in games 1, 2, 3 racing. Obviously, the 16 early retiree tonight with the engine.
And sorry, Joe, for interrupting, but breaking news across the wire, the 15 of Jeff Dixon also retiring for the race after contacting that incident.
Oh, no.
That changes everything. A lot of expletives on the radio from the 23 of Darren Ingram. Can't repeat anything that was said there. But a lot of frustration for the driver of the Red Bull Chevrolet.
That 2-car Sean Whitehill, we saw he was fast earlier. This would be an opportunity for him to get up there, possibly lead some laps and win this race, but now mired back in the field, tried taking the wave around earlier, had to pit before that yellow came out, so now that 2-car, 2 laps down, over the radio, talking to the crew, he said, boy, that was a big mistake.
Sometimes you just gotta wish that mistakes don't happen, and then they just keep happening. But still a lot of time, just under half. Maybe not a lot of time, I misspoke, but still some time for that 2 team to get those laps back. Want to just mention that the JTN jinx has been broken by Mr. Trey Coleman writing in chat. Really nice to see IPA/Turn Left Racing incorporate its flawless performance continue into a 5th consecutive week. LOL. Good to see those guys battling it out. Hope they can make it 5 wins in a row for the Alliance. And, well, their only bullet left is Zach Krastowski.
Who is running in 4th, Joe?
Yeah.
I mean, now that caution really saves them. Hey, we chose that time by. We're going to go green here shortly with Davey Hazard leading the way. He chose the outside line on this here, Joe. Drivers really preferring that. As they come at it, turn 4 into the Myco restart zone. Ricky, take us there.
All right, coming into the Myco restart zone, 54 Huang Do gonna have the lead here. Davey Hazard, excuse me, the 75 gonna dictate here. Green flag back at Texas. Hazard gets a great restart. Huang Do gonna drop into 2nd here, it looks like. But a few of these guys kind of look like they were asleep on the start there. 12 big wiggle Cal Lovell, but he hangs on to it.
Lovell way up the track, loses the 3rd position to Krastowski in the 1. Back up to 3rd.
That 1 car actually a lap down too after having to pit after that incident. Running on the track up there, though, you'd think he would be up there, but no, looks like he's not. So now Davey Hazard has pulled a huge gap in front of Huang Do after just a lap.
Wait a minute. I thought...
I'm as confused as you are. Might just be a scoring error with that 1 car. Either way, you're running third in track right now. Guys, something I'm noticing on that 54 of Huang Do is a little bit of damage to the roof. That usually indicates to me that that car has engine damage. I know that might seem counterintuitive, but either way, wonder what's going on with that 54 car, because they seem to still have good speed regardless.
Well, I got pulled over by a police officer because he said my car was too loud, so I opened the hood and said, "Look, officer, I don't have an engine." Well, I guess Huang Do just has the engine on the roof.
I suppose so. Either way, looks like Cal Lovell up to that third position on track here. Cal's got an opportunity here. This could be big for him. Remember, that points picture, he's outside of it right now, entering this race. So that 12 car, I mean, I'm sure he wants to just lock himself into that Final Four. He was there last year at Homestead, didn't have the run he wanted, but I'm sure he'd love another crack at getting that championship, a second one for that 12 team.
Cam Barnes hunting the inside of the 12 hunting the inside of the 54. Battles on for second. Laval to the inside of the Whataburger Toyota of Huang Do, the fan favorite. Looking like he's going to lose second here if Barnes can get to the back bumper of that 12 AAA Ford Mustang. And this is the AAA 200. So, you know, a little extra incentive there for Cal in that 12th car.
Is that how you pronounce it, AAA?
Do you say, do you go, ah?
Well, yeah, I thought it was just the 200, which I'm telling you, some of the action we've seen tonight would make sense.
Huang Do getting to the inside of the 12 level here. These guys have been battling pretty hard, but it looks like Cal's trying to rally to get this second spot, making a big run on the high line here, but it's not going to have the position just yet. 54 Huang Do really hanging on. Look at Zach Rostowski fighting for fourth here.
Lap down again with that one car. Noah Joyce, the recipient of the free pass last time.
I'm still got the scoring in my head, but Cal Laval to the inside of the 54. Zach Rostowski is in sixth, so technically he's still running on a top on that. You know, we've seen how many sixth place finishes he's had this season, so this is pretty on trend for him. He just needs a lucky dog here, and he can go crack into that top 5. But right now, Davey has it.
Yeah. Looking at the top 10 here, looking at the retirees from the race, he is going to get a top 10 no matter where he finishes now. So that one car continuing a very consistent season.
Calaval looking low on Davey Hazard again. He's getting a pretty good run here coming off turn 2. You can see he's got a fender to the inside of that 75 Haviland Camry. AAA car is going to try to see if he can get side by side with Davey Hazard. It looks like he does. Can he make the pass here coming off turn 4?
Off of turn 4, Cal barely cleared for a fraction of a second. Hazard, though, charging on the outside. He's going to have help from that Toyota teammate in the 54 of Huang Do, still side by side down into turns 1 and 2. Cal getting some momentum, but Hazard again going to have a run down the back straightaway. Cal clears up. He's in the lead. Cam Barnes into the wall further on back.
We're really impressed with that strong move by the 12 car. Took about a lap to pull off, but boy, he really made it stick there out of 2 and cleared that 75 car. That's something that I've seen tonight, is drivers being able to pass both on the bottom and the top. You just saw the bottom right there. Maybe Davey Hazard's going to try and get to the outside and pass him around the top. We'll see right now, following in his tire tracks.
Hazard trying to get back to the lead, keep a great race going. And folks, we're keeping the party going here on JTN into this next week. These are your upcoming races presented by our friends at TWB Technologies. Together, we are better. Monday night from Sears Point, it's the Maverick Cup Series making their debut here on JTN. Tuesday, it'll be the Hobo Cup Series right back here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Wednesday, All-Star Racing All-Star Race here at Texas. We'll have special All-Star qualifying for that one and then a shorter race thereafter. Bomb Squad Cup Series from Chicagoland, of course, on Thursday, presented by Voiles Trucking there. And then the USORL Cup Series, the penultimate race from Dover International Raceway, where we'll see a lot of broken hearts, a lot of hurt feelings, but we'll know who's going to compete for the championship. Of course, all those races live only on JTN. Mark your calendars or hit the subscribe button. Hitting the subscribe button is a lot easier because I know a lot of people don't have calendars anymore, Ricky.
Yo, this is not one person who doesn't have a calendar. I always got a calendar on the wall so I can know what day it is. But right now, this day's looking like it's belonging to Cal Laval at the moment, leading this race here, that AAA 12. Really putting down some good laps here on Davey Hazard, holding pretty stationary there in our lead. Hazard has not been able to reel in just yet. He's been hanging steady. Huang Do in third, dropping back a little bit, and then Sean Whitehill, a whole gaggle of cars there behind the 2 machine, who's in 7th position, but the first car in this line.
On that calendar thing wasn't a shot at you, Ricky. I know you're an engineer, so you got to keep your dates and your times in order. So, of course, you have a calendar. Tommy, do you have a calendar?
Yeah, moving on now. Calvin Laval up front here leading this race. How about that? If that just worked out too perfectly to not to do. Time is winding down in this race, guys. We're probably going to have about 1 more pit stop, maybe 2 on the threshold of that.
Oh, getting close.
It depends if we get any yellows falling, but right now, guys, it's really tooth and nail up front. Davey Hazard, Cal Laval. Also, Huang Do up here in the top 3. He has stuck around with these leaders in a great way. And you can see that 4th car in line there, the 2 is Sean Whitehill. What could have been if he was on the lead lap, he would be in 4th. Unfortunately, 2 laps down right now, running in 7th.
You see Cal's stats on the year. 1 win, 14 top 5s, 21 top 10s. He's 6th in the points, 6 points out. But a win tonight, those points wouldn't matter. He would lock himself into the Final Four for the 2nd year in a row. Folks, there's currently 21 of you watching. We only got 13 likes on the video, though, so make sure you smash that like button. Hit it, tap it, whatever you got to do to make sure that it goes blue. And you clicked that like button on the video. Those likes always help us here on JTN get these videos distributed even more, as well as making sure you're subscribed if you're new here. We do these NR 2003 races all the time, live, of course, online league racing, so you know it's real guys, real cars, real fake cars, I guess. And a lot of real good racing here on JTN, of course, coming at you. So you got to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a second of it. I'm Joe Twansky. You just heard Tommy talking. Ricky Collette also up here in the booth tonight. A fantastic night of racing here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Winding down a great Saturday of racing. And we're coming up on those green flag pit stops, Ricky, and probably 10 or so laps, maybe under, maybe over. But any last-minute adjustments you're going to want to make to your race car?
Yeah, some of these guys a little further back. I would think they probably want to loosen their machines up a little bit. If they can't hang with this front group, Huang Do actually reeled back in, so that 54 might be doing better than I thought from that standpoint. But a lot of these guys, I think, up front are probably going to keep the cars the way they are because, man, they're handling good right now up here. They're going to be walking on eggshells, though, when they get to those green flag pit stops because you saw what happened last time. And a lot of guys came to pit road and everyone kind of piled into each other. You really don't know who's going to pit when here. These guys are probably going to be a little more apprehensive about it this time because you don't want that to happen again.
Another car behind the wall tonight. It's the 13 of Austin Spencer. He's going to retire and finish in 10th tonight. That 13 car making a return to Cup Series racing. A couple weeks ago, they won the ARCA race at Knoxville on Friday night here in the USORL League. So congratulations to Austin for that win a couple weeks ago.
Always good to win, no matter what series it is here in the USORL.
I'll tell you what, it feels really good to win an ARCA. Did you know, I'll tell you about the ARCA race last night, Joe?
No, you didn't. What happened in the ARCA race? I think his name was Thomas Bordeaux?
Yeah. Oh, I won, Joe, and it felt great. Tell you what, though, it's a lot of fun competing against these guys. I love short tracks, and it was a lot of fun. But enough about me. Let's talk about, if there can ever be enough about me. Cal Lovell up front here, pulling away from Davey Hazard. Just a smidge here, opening that gap up as we get closer and closer to pit stops. Might be a good thing, Joe, if they have a little bit of room this time coming to pit road.
You know what, guys? We got to give a big tip of the cap here. Almost said cat. Tip of the cap here. And a big message of perseverance. Noah Joyce in 4th position right now. They got that car fixed under the pit stop. Earlier in the race, over the radio, saying something about his race being done after going a lap down there on his incident. Back in this, riding around in 4th right now, has lost his front grouping, so probably needs to make a few adjustments on that car for handling. But only 5 cars on the lead lap right now. Noah Joyce looking like he's in a good position here to pick up some, to hang on to some of these points here that we were afraid he was going to lose with that early race incident.
And Noah, of course, won the opening race, the Verizon... That wasn't the sponsor, was it, Tommy?
Yeah, it was a Verizon 250, or at least the race formerly known as the Verizon 250.
But won that race to kick off the year in a Cinderella-esque story and looking to, well, hopefully bookend the season just like Tyler Reddick did in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2018.
I know we talked about championship moments that separate pretenders from contenders. Mistakes, like we had earlier, could put you in that pretender category, but recovery is like that 3 cars showing. The perseverance, the drive through it all attitude is really helping out that 3 team right now. They're in the top 5. It'd be a good points day for them, and that's kind of what they need, especially with some guys like Darren Ingram having bad races tonight.
Now, guys, right now, I'm noticing 75 Davey Hazard's trying to lose quite a bit of ground here on the 12 Cal Oval. Do you think the handling's going away on that Toyota Camry? Do you think Davey's trying to get himself primed for pit stops here?
I don't know why you let off to the guy in front of you. I mean, I know we saw the guy trailing run over the guy in front last time, but I don't want to give up any ground on purpose. Maybe trying to cool the tires a little bit, because now you see him kind of close that gap back in right when you said something about it. But it never fails. It never fails that we say something and then all of a sudden the driver does the opposite of what we say. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. It'd be different if maybe he was
got the wall a little bit.
I don't think that car's handling great. But if you're having a pit stop concern, you're more likely just to drop behind, give up positions, and get to the back of this pack that you have going here at the front.
That's true. He's got coming up on Matthew Steelman, the 51. Steelman, you got the whole right side missing on that Ford Mustang on the inside line right now, but I think they're going to catch him coming down the straightaway here, so it should shuffle out pretty well.
I feel like I feel like I've seen this movie before. We're coming to pit stops soon, and we're lapping Matthew Steelman. I'm a little bit nervous about this, but we'll have to see how it plays out.
Hey, and Matthew Steelman now has merch available on the JTN merch store, so go check it out. You know? I mean, just go check out the JTN merch store. Support us here on JTN. We'd appreciate it if you did.
You should at least check it out. I mean, you don't have to buy it. You gotta check it out.
Just go look. I mean, Davey Hazard with some great merch. Mikey Murata, we got Tommy's World merch. Ricky, we don't have anything for you yet, but we're working on it.
Some merch for my teeth.
With your braces?
My gross teeth. But Davey Hazard starting to track down on this 12 again. He's gonna give me a hard time about this, I feel like, because he is now back on the back bumper of the 12. Right when we're like, oh, is he hanging back? Is he hanging back? No, he's right there. And I do think they are biding their time a little bit for pit stops, but the 51 car saying right now he's pitting. Hazard clutching there.
They're all coming.
They're coming, yeah.
Oh, Hazard again doing a 4-wheel slide a little bit. Everyone going to make it to pit road.
Well, that time we got in that time. And these pit stops are going to be crucial. Remember, 134 lap race. This should probably do it for pit stops for these guys. So this is critical. You got to hit your marks. The pit crew's got to do their job. Well, let's see the race on pit road here. Hazard, right sides, left sides. Going to be 4 tires for everyone, I'm sure. And a full tank of Sunoco racing fuel.
And Barnes also trailing coming down the pit lane. Noah Joyce stays out an extra lap. Trying to lead that lap so we can get the bonus point. Hazard going to beat Doe. The exit.
He's got the on Cal, but Cal's going to have a fraction here. Who's going to make it ahead?
Oh, they're going to race each other down on the apron, Tommy.
Well, could be dangerous here. Cal's got the inside, but Davey's going to keep that momentum around the outside. A little bit more banking out where the Hazard is out there. Oh, my goodness. And he's going to take the
pass.
That is impressive right there. And Davey Hazard just wheeling that car around the apron to get around Cal Lovell.
Sometimes, folks, as announcers, we just kind of let the cars do the talking, and that was definitely one of those moments where we were in awe and shocked to see those two able to drive it side by side on that apron, because we know it is so treacherous here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Sean Whitehill came down pit road. He got his stop. Noah Joyce coming off the pit road as well.
I'll give a welcome to everyone that's tuned in right now. Just saw the ticker jump up to 27, so I don't know if someone just told somebody, but this has got a bunch of people all here at once. So welcome to tonight's race. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoy what you're seeing. because we are having a grand old time here in the booth watching this battle for the lead as Davey Hazard leads on Calaval in second with Huang Do and the 54 Whataburger machine in third.
Yeah, we're just about to 20 laps to go, almost to crunch time, guys, and that's when things start getting pretty serious. All these three up front that you're watching battle for the win right here, they would love this win to lock themselves into that Final Four. I know that these drivers are antsy. You still got a little bit of time left, but let's see who makes the moves and when. Timing is going to be everything here.
We talked about Davey Hazard, though. He's 22 points up on the I almost said apron, up on the cutoff line. Have to think, though, he's got to feel safe. He's got to feel good about his positioning. Maybe it's not a must-win situation like it maybe is for the 12 or the 54 if the 12 ends up getting the victory here, because it's just more cars getting by, and it's a mess, Tommy. It's a mess. It's a mess, Ricky. It's a mess.
It's a mess. Yo, right now, looking at these guys, though, I'm noticing something here. It's really just this top three. The next car in line is Noah Joyce in the 3 in the 4th position, 12 seconds back. So these only the top 5 are on the lead lap right now. It really is going to be down to these 3 fellas as Cal Laval is all over the back bumper. The 75 there coming through the triangle. Let's off a little bit, but this brings an interesting factor because draft is going to matter. Clean versus dirty air probably is going to matter kind of, but like there's not going to be a whole ton about strength and numbers in terms of who's pushing you when. It's just going to be whoever Huang Do goes with. As Cal Laval goes to the outside here and Davey Hazard, they're going to be side by side coming off of turn 4.
Cal gonna
have shaded low on the backstretch there, just trying to block Cal from thinking about going to the inside. Cal said, all right, I'll take that challenge. Heads to the outside where we're side by side through 1 and 2.
Side by side still through the center. It's going to be a race down the back straightaway to see who can take a stranglehold of the lead. It's going to be Cal Laval now clear of Hazard. Hazard ducks back to the inside.
Davey throws in deep. You see he gets that quarter panel.
We've raced each other for wins before here in the Cup Series. These two, no strangers to how each other races, so they know they can take and give really fine amounts here. And certainly Cal Laval, a phenomenal mover on the outside, using that momentum off of turn 2 to get the advantage.
And these two, of course, are 2 of our Final Four from last year that we broadcast live on JTN. The other 2 don't even have a shot at making it to the Final Four. Sidner giving up his spot going into this round of 8, and Steven Berzlak, our champion from last year, not running the full season. Coming up on lap traffic, that's Matthew Steelman in the 51 Ally Ford Mustang. They're going to get on by him A-OK. But now it's coming down to crunch time, Ricky. Or is there anything different that you want to do if you're Davey Hazard now that you've lost the lead?
Probably save my stuff here. Kind of see if you get Cal to start burning his stuff out as Davey Hazard looks to the inside again. Can't pull it off just yet. But if you know it's going to be you two, depending on what the 54 Huang Do does, maybe save your stuff a little bit. But Davey Hazard getting to the inside of him. He wants to race. Davey wants to win this thing. Looking in chat right now, though, Darren Ingram out of the infield care center. Still not ecstatic about the current situation. I'll say it in a softer term. But Darren Ingram, glad to see he's okay after all that. But
side by side for the lead here. Hazard trying to get that inside line. Really close here entering turn number 1. Cal's got that momentum off the high side on the exit of the turn, but Hazard able to get the advantage through the entry and the middle. It's going to be up to that 75 car to find his way around Cal Laval somehow. He's not going to do it by running in the same tire tracks as Cal, so he's got to find something on the bottom of the racetrack. Meanwhile, with Huang Do in third, boy, he's licking his lips right now. It's not because of a Whataburger, it's because if those two get to racing up front, that's going to bring him into the lead picture as well.
You just haven't seen the speed out of the 54 as of late. Again, hinted at the engine damage on that Whataburger Toyota. Know that his teammate also lost a motor early in this one, so got to think that they've kind of maybe run it a little more conservatively late in the going here. But Hazard now starting to lose time to the 12.
Not
I don't know about that, Joe. Here comes Huang Do to the inside of Davey Hazard for second.
Again, right when we say something.
Yeah, that's like one of the first times I think I've seen Huang really be able to challenge Davey or Cal, one of those two tonight. I mean, he's out there on the bottom of the racetrack getting it done over that 75. And will Davey have anything for Huang to fight back on the outside? We've seen Davey use the outside before, but I think he's more comfortable up there than the inside. So far, hanging tough.
Now, these guys are both Toyotas. They work together at all to get on by Cal Laval? Because I think...
maybe, but they're not really teammates. There's no alliance between Games 1, 2, 3, and PTR, so they may be the same manufacturer, but at this point, it's every man for himself.
I was going to say, Davey likes to be a little bit of a loner as it goes with the race and stuff.
I'm winding down here in the Lone Star State. Cal Laval leads the way, 2/10 ahead of Davey Hazard in second, Huang Do in third. All three drivers vying for a spot in the Championship 4 in 2 weeks' time at Homestead. Right now, Cal Laval doing a great job up front, leading the way. We don't have diecast of the USORL really in mass, but if you want to get a diecast, go check out Plan B Sales Circle B Diecast for all your diecast needs, as well as other racing merchandises, shirts, hats, and whatnot are on there as well. And for free shipping, you can use code JTN at checkout for your order of $20 or more, shipping in the U.S. only.
I think Bristol and Tommy are going to start staging a coup on me here because he just stole my ad read. Perfect job, Tommy.
Well, thank you, Joe. I would say, this lead pack now, they were really close together a couple laps ago. Things kind of fading apart a little bit as we enter the final stage of this race here. Just over 10 laps to go, and I think guys are kind of reevaluating the situation, going to see what they have for the end. Maybe cool the tires a little bit, Ricky. See if there's one last push they can do before the end of this race.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tommy, because Davey Hazard, he's got the draft in front of him, he's got the draft behind him, so he kind of is, he's got choices here. He can kind of lean back a little bit, because if he starts getting on it, he'll start pulling right back in on the 12, and if Huang Do doesn't have the speed to stay past him, then he's never really going to lose that draft. So right now, not a bad situation to be in if he can get back to the 12 car. But taking a higher line right now, I notice, around track. I'm wondering if he's trying to see if he can set up somewhere else to get a run. He's been kind of reeling. He's been yo-yoing. That time by a little slower, losing a little ground on the 12, but then every other lap he gains a few tenths of a second. So I think he's just hit. It's a matter of where he's hitting his marks, but he's searching all over the track. You can see it moving up, moving down to figure out where he can get some time on Cal Laval.
Well, and coming this time to the line, it's Tommy's favorite segment of the night. It, of course, is our TWB 10 to go.
Well, thank you, Joe. It is indeed the TWB 10 to go. On behalf of TWB, I would like to advertise GardenLightsDirect.com. Hey guys, from porches to patios and more, for all of your outdoor lighting needs, visit GardenLightsDirect.com. That's GardenLightsDirect.com. GardenLightsDirect.com for all your outdoor lighting needs. That was your TWB 10 to go. And as the laps tick down, a victory comes nearer and nearer to Cal Laval's grasp here at Texas.
Don't give it to him too close. Don't give it to him too quickly, though, Tommy. Davey Hazard just went from 0.3 to 0.2 that last time by a whole tenth of a second faster than Cal Laval. He's tracking him back down, so maybe Hazard is reeling back a little bit, trying to use that draft to sort of keep with the 12.
Ricky, was he cooling his tires? Do you think that's why he was giving up the gap then?
Maybe. But then this time by, he stays pretty close. Yeah, not a huge drop.
Well, a real quick mention, a breakaway from the race real quick. I see a discussion about number fonts in the chat. I care way too much about number fonts. That 75 is indeed the KBM 54 font. Is Huang Do in the 54. Looks to the inside of Hazard here. That 54 trying to take that second spot away.
Y'all just used to use the Swan Race and stuff, and now you...
yeah,
man,
I'm
oh
the
man.
only one that's still using
You hate to see it. But Hazard and Do side by side coming through at 1 and 2. Still going to be side by side down the back straightaway. Do just trying to find a way, but I think he's just down the horsepower. Doesn't have the straightaway speed. It looks like he gets back in line coming into turn 3 and now way up the racetrack. He's going to lose a lot of time. That's going to be really hard to get back.
Well, and Rick talked about using that inside line on corner exit. You're not going to have the momentum that the guy on the high side has. You know, he's really able on the high side to kind of wind that thing out on the exit and also keep that guy down on the bottom, kind of pitching him down towards that white line.
And now, guys, Davey Hazard is staying with this 12. Even with Huang Do racing him there, really didn't lose a ton of time on our leader. This is important to know because I thought he was going to lose a whole ton of time there racing at 54, but really didn't do anything to where his position is. See, this time by still staying pretty much static with the 12, so I think Hazard's just got to keep looking and see if he can find somewhere to get an edge on this 12 as we just came across the line, I believe, for 5 to go.
Yeah, with 5 laps to go, I think a couple laps ago you saw the 54 of Huang Do's last gasp attempt at taking a position away from Davey Hazard. Now I think the race coming down to just Cal Loval in the Mobil 1 Ford and Davey Hazard in the Adidas Toyota Camry.
Yeah, the AAA Ford of Cal Loval there out front right now trying to keep that lead. I think he's just kind of playing mind games right now. He kept his tires a little easy. Got a little loose there off of 2. Don't want to do that again, Cal.
Right, what you saying? He's keeping it cool. He's showing that he's using all that car on the racetrack right now. But he's still hanging tough here. Davey Hazard's he's closing, but it's slow, Joe. And he needs to start getting a little quicker with closing this gap because he's running out of time here.
Running out of time. Sometimes it's just tick-tock on the clock, and the party does stop once we get to lap 134, unless there is a caution to cause overtime, but that does not look to be the case as the field is spaced out. Well, hey, there's Noah Joyce back there in 4th. Way off to our leaders. Cam Barnes in 5th. Zach Rostowski further up there, you see him. He's in 6th. John Whitehill, 7th. Antonio Ruiz in 8th. And I think Matthew Steelman has taken the 51 behind the wall.
All right, guys. Well, here we go through 3 and 4 here for the second to last time. There's a lot at stake to win this race. An automatic bid into the Final 4. For Cal Loval, it would be another trip to Homestead to try and clinch a championship once again. For Davey Hazard, after having it slip away in the last lap last year, he wants another shot at it. And he's not satisfied with just making it in on points. He wants to win. Cal Loval with a good advantage out of 2, though. It looks almost like it's wrapped up here for Cal if he can get through 3 and 4.
Cal takes the car nice and easy through 3 and 4. Hazard making one last ditch effort to make it to the back bumper of the 12. He spins coming off. The corner goes around, but Cal Loval wins it in Texas. Huang Do, I do believe, got 2nd.
Yes, Huang Do got 2nd. Davey Hazard 3rd. And Noah's Choice is going to take that 3 machine back home in 4th. And Cam Barnes should be able to get 5th here. He's coming off turn 4, and that'll be our top 5, the 7 of Cam Barnes. So, winner, Cal Loval. Zach Krastowski in the 1 finishes 6th. So,
Davey almost blew over.
Another 6th.
Someone needs to take him to a church to get an exorcist or something, man.
That was quite the finish there. You don't usually see something like that at the end, but Cal Loval won this race pretty handily. That 12 car, I'll tell you what, he didn't qualify super well, but he made his way up to the front. Won this race.
No, they're asking for a replay in chat.
Oh, they'll get a replay in a second, but we're watching burnouts here with Cal Loval in front of the fans. No, there has to be a lot of AAA employees here, as this was the AAA Texas 200. Al burns it down. We'll fetch you the replay of the end there. So here's coming through 3 and 4. Hazard he sends it down into the center. Nowhere left to go. Is going to make contact with the wall. Huang going to get into his back bumper since Hazard hit the wall. Hazard barely keeps the nose. Just enough front weight to keep the car down on the ground.
He's got a little bit airborne. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Sometimes you just got to get a little bit airborne, you know? There you see contact with the wall. Doe going to get into the back bumper, send him around through the grass. Nowhere for the 54 to go. Hazard, though. Whew. Lucky that happened down towards the grass and not towards the catch fence. But I digress. We'll move on to our post-race coverage here. Talk with our drivers up and on the podium. Yes, there was contact between the 54 and 75. But I don't think anything indicative of any type of penalty in this one.
Well, we're going to bring him in. We just talked about him and the near flip across the line, but he still finished third tonight. It's still a good finish for the points, but really it was the win that he wanted that he was not able to get. Hard to pass here at Texas. Davey, take us through your frustrations with tonight and try to get around Cal Oval.
That was the worst track we've run all season. There was absolutely nothing fun about that. We were wound up in the middle line the whole entire race, and if you did anything other than that, you were slower, except for like maybe the first 10 laps of a run, which Cal was able to capitalize on. He did really well. Cal won the race. Congratulations to Cal. That was just really bad, really awful. I don't even care that I lost second. It was just I had to do something different, and nothing else was working because the cars are so wound up on the middle line that you can't make any ground. So yeah, frustrated with the track, not frustrated with the finish. Had a good run. Brought the same setup that we had last year here to Texas, and it worked really well. Feel really bad for Darren and Jeff. Excuse me. Both really fast tonight. Ended up wrecked in that pit road incident. Just really frustrated with the track. Frustrated with how little I could do as a driver behind the wheel to improve my position. But it is what it is, and we move on.
Well, you move on, Davey, and I can tell that there's a little displeasure with the decision, maybe with the track and whatnot. But let's move away from that. You've had a great season, even with missing last week at Watkins Glen. Came in 22 points to the cutoff line. I know you want to win every single race you're in. I know you want to have fun every single race you're in. But it has to feel good to know that you're pretty much looking A-okay to make it to the Final Four after tonight's fantastic result.
It is a great feeling. Don't get it twisted. I'm excited to be a part of the playoffs still and have a really, really good shot at making it into the Final Four. I'm excited for Homestead. I don't even remember what next week is, but I'm looking forward to it regardless. Anything's better than the track we ran tonight. It's a good feeling. It's been good to not have to really worry about it. We're at Dover. We're at Dover next week. So I'm excited for Dover. I really like Dover. My spirits have been lifted. Thank you, Joe. We're looking good. And yeah, I'm not really too worried about it, but I am excited and happy to be a part of it.
That's Davey Hazard with a little bit of willpower sprinkled in there. Classic willpower, which we saw today. But Davey, a fantastic run, third place. I know it's not what you want. I know, you want to win every single race again. But before we let you go, thank you again for taking the time to talk with us. Thank you again for all you do for us here on JTN, including the Fake Racers podcast with Davey and myself every week here on the JTN YouTube. Make sure you go watch it. We're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff this week. But the floor is yours, Davey. Sponsors, family. I know you got a lot of them.
Well, I'd like to thank JTN for putting out some official Davey Hazard merch. You should go buy that on the JTN store. It'd be really cool if you had some. Just saying.
Looks really good too. Just saying.
Too, but the Davey Hazard stuff's really cool. I have the shirt, I have the poster. It looks good. Excited for that. Thank you to all my teammates, all my guys at PTR. I don't think we had a big PTR showing tonight, but regardless, we're going to come next season looking really strong. I know some guys are a little bit burned out from the season. It's been a long season, so rightfully so. Thanks to you guys again for putting on a great broadcast. I can't wait to tune back in, watch some of the moments that I want to go back and watch. Thanks to the USORL staff and admins for, despite having a bad track selection, putting on a good race. Matt Steelman was back as admin. I love Matt. He's always a pleasure to have in the racing channel during the races. So that's pretty cool. Felt pretty good having him back. Everyone that I know that was watching, I love you guys. You're the best. Thank you so much. Mom, Dad, I don't know who's watching that I know, but if I know you and you're watching, thank you so much. You're the best. I love you guys. And I think that's it. Is that it, Joe? You always know. You know me better than I know myself, so I don't know what I got.
I'm pretty sure that's it. I mean, celebrated the 1-year anniversary last week. Now celebrating a third place finish here tonight with us. I think I know which one's better. So that's my last question. Which one was better?
1-year anniversary was pretty good. Not gonna lie. I would do that again rather than run Texas. Shame that I didn't wait a week to make my girlfriend, so I could have missed Texas instead of Watkins Glen. That probably would have been a pretty cash money play. I don't have 2021 vision, so I can't really change that.
Right. I don't think anyone can have 2021 vision. But Davey, congratulations, third place finish here tonight. If you want to hear more from Davey, of course, check out the Fake Racers podcast weekly here on JTN. Thank you so much, Davey, for taking the time to talk with us. Congratulations and good luck next week at Dover.
Thanks so much. Hope you guys had a good broadcast.
Oh, we did. Fantastic night of racing.
Davey Hazard obviously disappointed, but man, I'll tell you what, the good news for him is Texas is now behind him. For the rest of the season, I can guarantee that we're not going to go back to Texas again in the Cup Series. So, hey, at least he's got that to look forward to.
But JTN's going back to Texas next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, so make sure you tune in.
Well, I'll tell you what, the second place finisher tonight, maybe a bit of a surprise that he finished second and not third at the end there. It's fan favorite Huang Do. Huang, congratulations on second. Take us through the wacky last lap.
So let's say into 3, dove it in there as far as I could, and it seems like Davey did the same thing, so we both slid up, and yeah, I hit the wall there and gone to Davey, and well, hell broke loose.
Yeah, it was quite the hit at the end there, made for a very interesting picture on the USORL Twitter of the finale of tonight's race. Anyway, Huang, you're looking good in the points right now to make it to the Final Four, but just barely. Just a 4-point gap to Cam Barnes and the rest of the crew. Dover next week, what are the chances you guys are feeling like for a good race there and to make it to that Final Four?
I hope the chances are good. We have to win because somebody else other than those 3 up ahead of me in the points win the race, then it means I'm basically out. So we got to win that one next week and hopefully make it to Homestead.
A lot on the line for this team. You've had a good season so far. Good to see you have a really good run tonight. I know you got a new sponsor on the car for this week, Whataburger. You might be, you were asking before the race, what am I doing in this car? But anyone else you want to thank here tonight?
No.
Huang Do, driver of the 54 Whataburger Toyota Camry, as always, a memorable interview. Congratulations on your second place finish. Good luck next week at Dover.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Huang.
That was Huang Do, driver of the 54, second place, Joe and Ricky. We'll have to see. He said that next week was going to be, felt like, which is crazy to think about considering they are points at this rate. But boy, that just tells you how tight things are here. They've got to get the best results they can.
And there's got to be degree to that that's kind of frustrating too, because you're sitting there, you're like, all right, I'm the second guy on points right now, and then you look and you're like, oh, I'm only 4 points to the good, which is a lot when we have car counts like tonight where we only had 13. I believe William Page missing from the screen, I am being told. I guess he got deleted from existence. That sucks. But nice on our Twitter followers. But we know Cam Barnes won this Dover race last year. He's sitting there in 5th. Darren Ingram is going to be out for a vengeance, whatever, next week. Noah Joyce is fast at Dover, and Zach Krastowski's just consistent everywhere. So if you know what I mean? I feel like all those guys behind him can win, and I feel like he can win too. So it's just, I think like he said, it's going to come down to making sure you get a victory next week at Dover, which if there's 6 guys vying for it, 5-6 guys vying for it, it's just that much tougher.
Well, speaking of vying for victories next week at Dover, one guy that doesn't have to worry about that because he won tonight, it's the 12 car of Cal Laval, your winner at Texas. Congratulations, Cal. You're going to the Final Four.
Oh, thank you, Tommy.
Cal, you were missing last week from Watkins Glen. Can you fill us in on why that was?
I was simping again.
Okay. All right. Good. Good for you, Cal. Good for you. For the UPS truck, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Inside the UPS truck.
Okay, all right. Well,
moving on. JTN After Dark.
Yeah. Ricky wanted to ask you a question because it seemed like you had a really good short run car on those restarts, and Davey said that was really what mattered to get around guys. Ricky, ask the question that I was going to ask him.
What was the question you were going to ask him?
Well, you're supposed to read my mind. Something about how'd the car feel in the short run.
Oh, okay. Well, Cal, how'd that car feel in the short run?
It felt great. All the car needed was clean air, and it took off for the long run. And as you can see, we did well.
In our Texas races this week, Cal, with Bomb Squad Racing, we didn't see clean versus dirty air as much. Why do you think dirty air versus clean air played such a big role for you and your setup, and it looked like the field overall tonight here with the USORL?
Well, I just felt like it took a load off the front tires whenever you got out there, and it made the car better on the long run. I just wanted to stay behind Davey a little bit, maybe save some fuel, ride behind his wake, and I think that helped for the fuel side of things, because I ran out of fuel doing my burnouts, and yeah, the tires they held up well, being out in clean air, and it showed. I got a snap from Tommy.
Cal, you locked into that Final Four at Homestead again. You were last year, didn't come away with the result you wanted. Heading into Homestead, how does this 12 team feel about their chances to get away with the championship this time around?
Not good, because we sucked at Homestead last year, so we're gonna have to work on that. So yeah, we're gonna have to be better on the long run at Homestead, and hopefully we can chase for a third title.
Hey,
well,
you got 2 weeks to go and get that set up better, Cal, and won the AAA 200 in the AAA car. I think Tommy had one more question for you.
Yeah, Cal, heading into that final weeks, though, anyone you want to thank here towards the end of the season that maybe you haven't been able to shout out at all yet?
Anybody?
Well, any corporation.
Well, I mean, I always shout out my
best friend,
corporations.
Tommy Bordeaux.
Yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep, I got to shout. UPS, AAA, High Point, all those good sponsors. And also, I'm 2 for 2 this season in a Dan Asher made car. So maybe that's why I won those races. I don't know. Something about that paint job.
Maybe you got to run an Asher car at Homestead at this point, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Cal, just to remind you, you ran that paint job last year at Homestead.
Yeah.
But it's 2021.
Oh, something's got to give.
Yeah. Well, that's a good shout. Dan Asher Designs on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Yep. Big Chase Briscoe fan. Anyone else, Cal?
You guys.
Oh, thanks.
Y'all do an amazing job all the time.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's
about it.
Yeah, this is where the interviews get awkward with you, don't they?
Yeah. They're always awkward. What do you mean?
Well, they start off. Nah, they start really good, and then we kind of trail off, and then we get to the end, and we go back up, and then all of a sudden it's like a big drop on a roller coaster, Cal. You know?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay, all right. Well, Cal, congratulations on the win tonight, locking yourself into the Final Four. That's gonna feel great, and good luck next week at Dover. Although I guess you don't need any of the good luck, so good luck at Homestead. We'll give you it 2 weeks early.
All right, thank you.
Cal Laval, driver of the number 12 AAA Ford Mustang.
I'm still here.
Yeah, well, people.
Pain. Were we both moving him, or what was going on there?
Yeah, well, I don't know. But the point is, he won. And he's locked into the Final Four. So good for Cal Lovell and that whole team. They're going to get another crack at that third championship here in a couple weeks' time.
Another crack at the back, another swing at it. I'm going to look to try to close the deal. Folks, we'll be live again with you with the USORL at Dover next week. Ricky, what is going to be the big story heading into that race?
What do you think the big story is going to be? The points. We got 2 guys in. We got only 2 more spots left. It's going to be a mad scramble between these guys on who's going to get in, who's going to make it, and it's going to be a wild one. We came into tonight thinking, we got 2 races left, so it's not going to be anything crazy. And we had a huge points implicating moment there. So I think that's going to be the big talking point next week is who makes it into this Final Four, who wins the race, who gets to Homestead, because it's going to get wild.
Ricky, I'm just trying to throw you softballs here as we're getting ready to close out the show. And Tommy, we got 2 episodes left of Tommy's World. The folks at home, they're going to want to make sure they tune in for those, right?
Absolutely. Should be a lot of fun. I can't give away too many secrets, but they're going to be special. They're going to be a good time. And after this race, go check out the Tommy's World from Texas here live on the YouTube JTN channel.
Yep. Still has to be uploaded, so it might be a little later than right after the race as it normally is, but it'll be there for you very, very soon. Folks, make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. 24 likes right now. Can't thank y'all enough for doing that for us. We appreciate all the support so much. If you want to help us extra, you can head on over to our Facebook page. Give us a like over there. Follow us on Twitter, currently at 69 Twitter followers. Nice.
Don't follow us.
Please follow us. You can also check out our JTN merch store. We got some great merch. We'll get you that great swag. Maybe we'll do a merch giveaway at 1,000 subs. I think that'd be kind of fun. So keep getting those subs up. We'd appreciate that very kindly. Be a friend, tell a friend as always. If you know a friend that likes racing, likes online racing, likes NR 2003, heck, maybe if they hate racing, just share the videos with them. We like to think we have a good time up here in the booth. Can't thank y'all enough for all your compliments as always as well. That'll do it. We also got JTN TikTok, so you've just heard, if you're a TikTok person, JoeTowNetwork, go find it. Not going to give you a link. You got to find it. But can't thank y'all enough for tuning in tonight. Next time we're live, it's Monday night, Maverick Cup Series, Sears Point. Tommy or Ricky will be joining me in the booth. It seems like they got some stuff to work out between them. I think they're going to play a couple games of rock, paper, scissors to figure that one out. A very professional setup here on JTN, run by, of course, our brilliant producer, Bristol. For Bristol, Tommy Bordeaux, Ricky Collette, I've been Joe Twansky. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys next time live here on JTN. Have a fantastic night, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh, Maverick! Oh,
Who did that?
Turn 4 into the tri-oval. Whitehill is through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
All right, and they're wrecking behind them. We got cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, but it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Musa. Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's gonna use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're gonna be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's gonna be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.